Hello. Oh, Jesus. Not a good way to start. All right. Let's get started on another episode of the Forehand Podcast. I finally made up my mind. It's going to be the Forehand Podcast when I do my introduction. That just makes more sense. Um, yep. The podcast where, oh, Jesus. All right. Let me get myself together here. Not a good start. The podcast where I will take tennis and try to break it down to its fundamentals, or try to at least, or try to make uh, everything within the game of tennis as simple as possible for people to understand, to better their game, and to help me uh, continue educating myself, Um, I figured it out. I finally uploaded the first episode. Um, It was on the 75% rule. It took me some time to finally get that going, and I think I'm going to be doing maybe three episodes a week, maybe two, and then just uploading them all at the same time, so I can have just content, kind of uh three at a time, three or two at a time, just have more videos up, and I have just more time for me to do the whole recording, and then do the whole editing, and then just once it's uploaded, I could put that all behind me, and then move on to whatever next subject I want to talk about. And I know that on, I think, episode 2, it was about emotions, and I wanted to get into motivation. It's just what you are. You're my I don't even know the lyrics of the song. I don't even think it's motivation. I don't know what it is. But I don't want to talk about motivation, actually. I want to talk about preparation. Preparation. It's just what you. That doesn't even make sense. But yeah, preparation. Talking about preparing for practice, right? Tennis practice, tennis lesson, a tennis session, and then a match. Preparing for a match. There's a lot that goes into it. I think this is a little bit more important than it's the prerequisites for motivation. I'll say that. But before I get into that, I want to get a couple things out there. So we're week 11, week 12 into the NFL season, and it's been pretty wild with the whole pandemic. But I gotta say, Ravens have just ruined the holiday. Like even Christmas is ruined because of these guys. It's it's unbelievable, right? They had to play the Steelers on Thursday night, Thanksgiving, right? That was I was looking forward to that, but no, they got a whole bunch of COVID cases. Um, I hope they all turn out well. You know what? There's a good percentage that most of them do turn out well, anyways. As far as I can tell, most of these players that have gotten COVID, they just nothing happens to them afterwards. So a bunch of their players got COVID because they weren't responsible. Who knows? I don't know. But I want to take my anger out on them. So game was postponed to Sunday, and I was like, all right, not bad. Still in the weekend. Can't wait till Sunday comes along. Boom, postponed again. Tuesday. I was like, oh man, that was just like, all right, way to ruin the weekend. I got over it. Uh, Luckily, I had a pretty good Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cleo. She got scared. Like slapped my bed. Um, So I got over that, and I was like, all right, I'm getting ready for Tuesday night. I get out of work at 8. My last lesson's around is at 8 is around 8:30, so I only get to miss maybe the first 7 minutes of kickoff, and then or 5 minutes if anything, and then another ESPN notification. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Postponed for Wednesday. Jesus Christ. So here we are. Today's Wednesday too. 3:40 p.m. kickoff. What in the world is that? Not only is it inconvenient for me, because I'm on the court already by 3, but I don't get a break till about 7:30 or 7. I don't remember my schedule, but I know I get a half hour break. So if everything goes well, I hope to see the last maybe 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Hopefully a little bit more. I don't know. So my only hope is that the Steelers rush past, just hammers down on these guys, just to let them know. And then here's a big thing. Here's a big thing. I'm gonna continue on about this. Forget about preparation. No, I'll talk about preparation a bit. The reason why the Tuesday game was postponed was because these guys were gonna go on a strike. The Ravens team was gonna go on a strike if they played Tuesday night, because not because of the COVID situation, but because the team did not practice enough. I don't even know what. Like, now that I'm talking about it out loud, I don't even. I don't even feel like annoyed at them anymore. To me, I'm just like, bring back Ray Lewis, bring back Ed Reed. Some of these heavy hitters got to come back and like whip these guys into shape. Ever since Lamar Jackson started playing that runaway game, man, these guys are just, it's embarrassing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So my only hope is Steelers go in, open the doors for these guys at Heinz Field. Give them a couple here and there, make them hit the turf a few times, and then just walk away, right? Just walk away. Be like, you know what? I'm glad we got this over with. You guys were complaining a little bit too much. You guys can't control your own facility. All right. This is the second game of the season. We're done with you guys. We won't see you again until next year. Because I don't know. I don't want, if these guys make it to the playoffs, that's just. I think that the Cleveland Browns have a better chance of making it into the playoffs. That's how bad the Ravens are going on right now. But anyways, now that I got that out there, I can continue on with my preparation. It's just Who sings that song? Seems like I think oh no, Bruno Mars. There you go. His name was escaping my head. Bruno Mars. All right. Preparation, everybody. What do you need to do to prepare for a tennis session? I'll break it down. This is what you have to do. Get a racket, a can of balls, and go to the wall. The end. That's preparation. No. All right, no. Okay, I'm done. All right, let's get into some serious. Let me look at my notes. Preparations. Okay. So this goes back to what I was saying in one of the previous episodes. The preparation happens way before you get onto the court. Obviously, it happens the day before you get onto the court. So, for instance, you have a practice. Today's Wednesday. My students should be coming into practice already right before practice, having given their body the proper nutrients that it needs for it to perform at its very best. So, for instance, I usually tell my students, have a couple blueberries, maybe a banana, something with like high energy, natural energy, so they can come in and then do their very best. And when I tell my students this, I don't expect them to like be very strict about it. I tell them to just start slowly doing it so their body becomes, so they develop a good habit to when preparing before tennis practice. That being said, too, also the night before their tennis session, I try to make sure, to have like a tennis journal, right? Have your students or your child make sure that whatever they remember from the previous session, they write it down after the session while it's still fresh. And then before going to bed, the night before the upcoming session, they look at those notes, they try to remember what it is that they have to do, and they fall asleep on it. and hopefully, it stays in their brain. Maybe they dream about it, yes or no, and then they wake up the next day, go on through whatever it is they're going to do, and then right before practice again, they look over those notes. So it's like a refresher. So once we're in there, we're not like reviewing what we did before. We're just getting into like a couple of drills regarding whatever we attacked the week before, and then moving on to the next thing, because it's got to be a sequence of progression, obviously. Um, and that being said, this goes along with like, and it also depends on the age group, right? With the younger ones, like the ones that are, I would say maybe even 8 and under, like 7 under, 8 and under, those guys, it's got to be a um, consistent play with with those young ones. It's kind of interesting actually. Now that I think about it, between the ages of I say 6 and 8, maybe 5 and 8, because some 5-year-olds are very difficult to really grab their attention for a long period of time and have them do multiple things. But I think 6 and 8, when you have these young ones, uh, when you have a six and okay, I'm losing my train of thought. Between the 6 and 8 year olds, and then not even 8. What am I saying? Okay, well, I'll say between the 5 and 7 year olds. Between the 5 and 7 year olds, when you compare them with adults, it's got to be repetition, because a 5 to 7 year old is not like they do 1 hour of tennis a week and they come back the next week and they're like, oh yeah, I remember all this. It's like, no, it's like kind of starting in a weird way all over. So it's got to be more repetition with them, right? It's got to be like they got to hit twice as many balls as maybe as a, I don't know, 9 to 10 year old has to do to try to grasp the idea of what it is that you're trying to get um, them to do. The same thing with adults. Adults, when they play, you can tell them the concept and how to do things and consistently try to talk to them, try to get them to understand. But if they have habits already, it's got to be consistent repetition of what it is you're trying to get them to do. And same thing, it's got to be twice as much as what somebody who's younger and getting into the game. But what was I? Okay, I got away from that. So that's just maybe a little side note there. Oh, that's a good one to get into maybe. Um, I'll think about it later. So yeah, preparation the night before, the right class before they look into it, right? And this again is between the ages of maybe 8 to about, I mean, 8 to about like really continuing on from 8 till if you're gonna continue to play competitively, even in high school and then in college, etc. Obviously, your work becomes a little bit more rigorous as you get older because you start involving other things like workouts and strength training and conditioning, which I love. Like that is my favorite thing about tennis. I think it's the off-season conditioning and strength training. There you go. That's another episode. Another episode right there. Strength training, conditioning, off-season workouts. Oh yeah, I'm gonna write. Oh. All right, I gotta remember that because I didn't bring a pen to write this down. But anyways, so that is pre-session 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 preparation. It's I just got came to mind. I remember when I was playing in high school, my pre-preparation before a tennis match is that I would always go to the cornerstone near our public park, and I would always get a can of ginger ale and 2 bananas, and I would eat that before a tennis match. I would have a banana with ginger ale. I mean, that was definitely inefficient. The banana was good, but the sugar and the ginger ale, I think I did that for the whole season. I don't even know if it helped. I wish I had the numbers on that. How many? Excuse me. How many? What was my percentage when doing that? But that's what I did. So don't do that. Not ideal. All right. Preparation. That's before a practice session. Uh, And then that was also at home. That's like also at home preparation, right? You start developing these habits and you start doing these things consistently. It just elevates your game. Um, mm, 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 My only thing is that I hope I get another notification saying, "Did-do-do, did-do-do." The Wednesday game has been postponed to. I think by now it's a little bit too late for there to be a postponement of the game. Um, and then they move it to like Sunday again, or even Thursday. That way I get to see Thursday night. Bidadoo, bidadoo. Anyways, pre-match preparation. No, this one. Oh, well, let me get a little comfortable here. This one I gotta sit up for. This is obviously, I wouldn't say uh more important, but definitely a more focused too. Jesus, I'm like blowing out. Sorry about that. I'm gonna start blowing out people's ears during these podcasts. Uh, Rocky, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Okay, so we'll start with a match preparation. Doesn't start the night before. It starts, I would say, 3 days before the match, right? If anything, maybe the moment you already know who you're facing against, right? Because I tell my students this when they're playing tournaments and they see the roster, right? The roster usually comes out. When does the roster usually come out? Is it like 5 days before? I don't even remember, but let's just say it is 5 days before. As soon as you see that roster, you try to see who your opponent is, right? Which is what I think most tennis players, I don't know if they do it, but I feel like some of them do. I know Roger Federer spoke about this, but I thought about this uh, way before I heard Roger Federer do it. Pros should definitely look into their upcoming matches film. Like football players do it all the time. Pretty sure basketball players do it too, or basketball teams and football teams. They spend a whole week. Coaches, right? Coaches, coordinators, everybody spends a good portion of their time studying film, seeing what their opponents do, what their schematics are, what their cadences are, what plays they run, how much plays they do, like how many plays they do running, the whole thing. The same thing with tennis. Like you should look at your opponents if you know who the person is and they have some footage of them, whether it's practice, whether it's a match, even the record. Like you can tell a lot by the numbers on the record. You try to figure out, right, if they have film, all right, where do most of their weaknesses come from? Is it a backhand? Is it a forehand? Do they consistently make errors when balls are given right to them at their body and they don't adjust right away? Short balls, they have a hard time being a little more dominant and putting that ball away. They're not good at moving forward. Uh, Second serves, how do the second serves come in play? How strong are their first serves? Where the stands, where the most of the first serves come in? All of that goes into account, right? You try to really do your due diligence and you prepare in that sense, right? You prepare in the sense of you try to picture your opponent already with what is given to you. So that's a good one. And I think, yeah, I don't know if pros do this now. I know Roger Federer spoke about it maybe about a year ago, 2 years ago, but I thought that should have been going on since like I don't know when. But anyways, that's part of preparation, and that happens 5 days before, right? That's right, 5 days before your match. That's the hypothetical, right? Rosters comes out, you know who you're playing. The night, every single night before going to bed, you go to sleep with the play that you have in mind, right? Like in your head as you're going to bed, right? Closing your eyes, you're going to bed, you're like, all right, I'm looking for, right? Because you're pretty excited. Well, some people get anxious, but if you say, instead of saying, oh, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, just say I'm excited. One important thing that you have to learn how to do as a competitor is learn to control. Right, we spoke about emotions on the previous podcast. You have to learn how to control what you say. not just how you act, but also what you say. So if you're saying, "Oh, I'm nervous, I'm anxious," your body will feel that way. But if you say, "I'm excited," like that's that preparation, right? That takes away from anxiety and from nerves. So you got to really learn how to take that and use it. That's like Mike Tyson saying that he uses fear. Um, he uses fear or he controls fear. I can't remember what it was, but it was really good how he worded it. Um, Same thing. You're not scared. You're not nervous. You're just excited, right? Get your mindset to start developing that kind of like warrior mind to playing competitively. But where was I? All right. So the night before, you're closing your eyes and you're picturing. All right, I'm gonna serve. I'm gonna serve that ball. Right, you're on the deuce side. I'm gonna serve that ball out wide to his forehand to push him out a little bit. He's gonna reach out, kind of like give me a short ball towards the middle. I'm gonna move in, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna hit that ball inside out, make him move all the way to his backhand, and then come in for the volley for the overkill. He gets to that ball, kind of just gives me a bit of a slow floater. I adjust my feet and I hit that forehand cross court where he just can't get. And then you picture that, right? You picture that as you fall asleep, and you go through scenarios. That's just one, but you can go through so many, and you can go through ones where you feel like you're playing like a 15 shot rally, right? You start doing some slices. You go into volley, he lobs it over you, but you still get there, right? You put yourself in so many situations, based off the film that you saw, and you do that every night before before the match. And then the day of the match, okay, so now let's get into preparation. Still within preparation, because I was gonna get into the match play. So now here comes, right? That's how you've been preparing mentally, right? You're excited. You've been preparing yourself mentally to get into this match. And now the day of the match, you're there. You make sure you get enough sleep too, right? Because the power of sleep is unbelievable. Here's a good one. Usain Bolt, right? All these athletes, right? Roger Federer, on average, I think he sleeps. I want to say. I think what I read was 10 hours, something like that. 10 hours. Like he'll sleep 8 hours a night, and then 1 hour, like 2 hours during the day, something like that. I feel like I read that somewhere. Or that was LeBron James, but I know that these top athletes, they make sure that they sleep because the power of sleep is just it is nature's way of like protecting you, right? It's like your body's way of really making sure it gets its full recharge. Usain Bolt, apparently before breaking a world record, I think it was like 23 minutes before breaking a world record, he had just woken up from a nap. Like that's how important sleep is to these guys. I think LeBron James sleeps like 12 to 14 hours a day. It's unreal. It's unreal. And like you can tell like that these guys like have understood how important sleep is. So again, you make sure you get a good night's sleep. And I know it's really hard, especially when you're really excited and you're really trying to you're thinking about the match the next day. I remember my family, like during when I was a kid, my family, we were going to the beach. It was a beach day. The night before, I could not sleep. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm going to the beach, right? The school day, we had a field day where we're going to go out, I don't even know, like Pennsylvania for cheesesteak. The night before, right, we had to be in school, whatever, 5 a.m. to take the bus. The night before, I could not, I think it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh no, like if I sleep now, I'm going to oversleep and I can't make it. But I know I still woke up. I mean, I was tired. I was tired, but I was sleeping on the bus. See, that's the kind of thing. So you really trying to make sure you get a good enough sleep. So you're fully charged. You have your mindset. You're excited, and now same thing. Right before the match, you go in there with having the proper nutrients that your body needs for it to actually perform. Remember that. Remember, you need your nutrients. Remember. Blah 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 blah. So this is match play. This is preparation before the match, preparation at home, and now this is the preparation as you go to the match. And as you go on the way to the match is another thing. Same thing. You're in that mindset. I'm excited. Whatever, you're listening to music. You're just trying to make sure you get into a flow, right? Like your body is not tense. You're just going in there. And when people say, you're just going in there to have fun, it's kind of like you're really going in there to do what you. It's really where you're going in there to do what you do in practice. That's number one, which it's really hard to find when athletes can do that, right? Especially when you're competing at a young age, because it doesn't fall under the practice umbrella. It goes either to two spectrums. Either you go way too hard and you start overdoing things and you start like creating errors, or you go in there like too weak where you just start playing the nervous game and it's not who you are, right? It's kind of like go in there and play your game. That's pretty much when people say have fun. It's like go in there and just play your game, right? Get into the flow, get into this fluid state. Just you're relaxed. You're doing what you normally do. You're under control. You're poised. You have a good demeanor. You're really focused, right? Mentally, like Djokovic says, it's just a mental game. Everybody knows how to hit the ball, how to hit a forehand. Everybody's physically capable, but if you're just not mentally strong, that's the thing that separates the top 100 from number one. Really, how mentally strong you are. But anyways, so now you're in that match. You're fully prepared. You've done everything possible. And here is the key to what motivation is that you've done everything, that you've really taken control of everything prior to the match. And now you're in there, like, you're feeling really good, right? Because you got your sleep, you got your nutrients, or nutrition. I'm seeing nutrients. I don't think I'm using the right word here. But you got the proper food inside your body. You're feeling good. Everything there, like you feel like you're alive. You're in the moment. You're not nervous. You're excited. That is like the key to motivation, right? Like motivation just doesn't happen like, oh, I'm motivated. I mean, during matches, right? You definitely get into a groove, right? You start winning points. You start like all your like I've gone through that, right? I've gone through that, like that bowl of like, oof, like this court is mine. This is my court. Like, I'm sorry you had to step into this court, but today, like, I'm taking control of this. This is my field. This is my hometown, right? Something like that. Right? You start winning points consistently, and then you get into that, that gives you like energy, right? That gives you like this hype. But you can have all that without the need of that. That's just an addition to motivation, right? If you prepare properly before practice, before a match, that right there in itself is really good motivation, right? And this is why I really love off-season training. Like, it's not given enough credit to young athletes to do off-season training. When you do that strength training off-season or conditioning, you just feel it on the court. Like, if you just do, let's say you just do 1 week straight of strength training and conditioning, and you come back the next week and start, playing, you feel it in your body how much lighter you are on your feet, how much quicker you are, how much power you have, how much control you feel, how much how much more solid your shots are on the court. It's just unbelievable. Like, that in itself is another it's an addition to the motivation. It's not even that it's not even that you're looking for it. It's just that it's already there, and it's just now like you're presenting it. It's unreal. Same thing before. I keep slapping my bed because I'm so pumped right now that I'm scaring my dog right now. Every time she hears the dog get smacked, she like jumps. What's up, Rocky? I gotta get away from I think meditation's pretty good too, by the way. Mentally prepare yourself. That's kind of like what you're doing when you're when the nights before going to bed, and you're getting into that mental. In a weird way, it's like you're visualizing some form. It's like a form of way of meditation. Oh, visualizing. There you go. That's a good word. You got to visualize everything, right? And I say the night before going to bed because right? It's unbelievable how our brain works. That overnight, like, your brain might actually grasp what it is that it's trying to comprehend during the day, and also do it while you're sleeping. So it's kind of like your body starts like preparing, or like it's strength training while you're sleeping. It's unbelievable. I gotta find I know I've read about this several times and looked at videos on this numerous times. I gotta find better words to describe this, but it's more or less the same thing. That the night before, if you visualize and as you sleep, it's like your body is like training as you sleep to do what it is you're trying to do, um, that you're trying to visualize. Uh, but anyways, yeah. So that is why like motivation comes from all that. Like it's not something that you try to like look for. Like, oh, I can't wait until motivation comes. No, it's all the preparation you do prior to it. That's why I love strength training and conditioning. Like I didn't know that until what was this pre-pandemic, right? Pre-pandemic, I was training off season, so I was training between the months of October, November, all the way till February, March, right? No, even during March, I was still doing training, and anytime I got on the court, right? Because I was more, it was like my percentage changed. It was more like 80% conditioning, strength training, and then 20% hitting throughout the week. But those 20%, I mean, that 20%, whenever I did hit, it was like unreal level of hitting. Like, not unreal level of hitting. It's more like my level of hitting had gotten to a higher degree as what it was before. And it wasn't that, like, I couldn't even go in there saying, oh, I was rusty or I hadn't played in, like, I don't know, 5 days. It's anytime I went in there to play, it was just nothing, like really nothing disappeared. It was just maybe I had off days for sure, because that happens all the time where you're just not there, right? Like for some reason, whatever it may be, and I don't know, sleep, like I said, maybe the food, not eating well, the whole thing. But there's days where you're off, and that just happens. That happens to everybody. What's going on? Rocky, leave her alone. Hey, leave her alone. But anyways, so yeah, that is why I want to do preparation first. I thought this was a lot more important than getting into motivation. Although motivation does in itself require its own episode. But this is pretty much the key to to I don't want to say getting motivation, just to feeling that motivation, like, or activating motivation, right? It's how you act prior to what it is that you're trying to prepare for. And then once you're there, it's just, it all unleashes, right? Then you can perform. Um, is there anything else that I thought was worth noting as far as preparation? Uh, 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 uh. No, I think, how many minutes do I have in this? Whoa, 32 minutes. This is actually the longest. Jesus Christ, this is the longest one I've had so far. Hopefully it doesn't take a while for it to upload to YouTube. Because that's another thing. Uploading them. I finally found a way. I finally learned how to do the uploading to YouTube. That's how I got the first episode up. And this is why I want to do like 2 or 3 episodes. Just that way I can get them all off the bat in one sitting. And then continue on with my day. And then get ready for the next episode that I want to talk about. I don't know what I want the next one to be about. I feel like I've been talking too much about athletes and what to do. I feel like I want to step away. Maybe I want to do something with like. Let me look at my notes. Let me look at what I have that might be upcoming, and I'll decide. Let's see. Podcast. I have. Understand. Oh, this is actually really good about preparation too. Here, I think not. Okay, you know what? No, I'll leave this for next time. Ooh, this is a cliffhanger. This is a good one too. Like I think this is a good way of looking at it. But I'll leave this for next time. On another one, I have coaches developing their craft as an episode. Oh, why do you want to win? That's another one, a really good one. I think most tennis players, and specifically tennis, don't really understand what it is, why they want to win. I mean, they have an idea, but they don't know how to formulate it into words. Um, Group lessons versus private lessons. Thinking like an athlete. That's a good one. What did I just think about before? Damn it. No. Oh no. I gotta look back at this podcast or listen to this podcast again, and then or this episode, just so I can remember what it was that I wanted to write down. I completely forgot to write down. But I think that's it. I think I haven't decided on what the next one's gonna be. Once I get my motivation, I will decide what it is. What the topic will be. But for now, like I said, if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to know, anything you're curious about, just you can email at forehandpodcast@gmail.com. Leave comments if you want, ask some questions, let me know what you think. Oh, that's a good one too. I'm also thinking of doing like analytics on upcoming matches. I'm gonna do the due diligence, right? Like you look at the matches, you look at the statistics, you look at the score, you look at the play, you look at the everything, and then give out what my picks are for people that gamble on tennis matches. And I think I'm gonna have a different channel for that. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I'm definitely thinking of doing something like that, right? Because I mean it's my job, right? Tennis coach. I look at videos, I look at film consistently all the time, and I have a good time doing it. So why not give my wrong suggestions to people out there who are considering putting money on it, and then having them lose some money, right? So I might be doing that. No, I mean I really hope that I help out more than I do, than they lose. But I think I'm gonna be doing that sometime in the future. So I might be having 2 shows going on, one for the high rollers, and then obviously what I'm trying to do here with tennis, and trying to really just transfer a lot of the information that I received, and hopefully receive some information back from anybody who's listening. All right, man. I gotta cut this short. 36 minutes. Jesus. Okay. So, and then, oh, that's the alarm. Wow. I really went off. Nice. What else? Forehandpodcast@gmail.com. Comments, leave questions. If you're curious about anything regarding any sport, by all means. I do follow MMA. I do follow football. I do follow NBA. I follow. I got into MotoGP recently. I really enjoyed that. I used to ride motorcycle, but I never followed MotoGP. Now MotoGP is like, I'm really enjoying it. What else? Yeah. Just any questions? I don't even know how to end this. I feel like I'm always forgetting something with my ending. I gotta put notes as to how to end, right? Because I feel like I always forget something. Oh, my Instagram. I'll have that in the description as well. If you guys want to look at some of the stuff there, I'm gonna be uploading a few clips from the podcast onto Instagram as well. What else? Social media wise, students wise. Leave her alone, Rocky. All right, I think I'm done. You guys have a good one. Stay safe. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy this time that we're having with close relatives as much as possible. Because I always tell my students, like, this is their first time going through like a major historical event, and try to remember as much as you can. So when you tell stories, they like you have like it's something good to share. All right. And always you're right. Always make the best of it. Rocky, leave her alone. All right. Have a good one.